Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Antoinne Glover here, your Colorado real estate agent with the Cutting Edge Realtors. My Monday morning millennial message continues. I just won't stop. It's called consistent. People say, stop doing it, but why do I keep watching? Because you just don't know what's going to come out of my mouth, and you don't know who's going to be to my next guest here. And this guy right here is a rock star, Mike Sagaert. He's the creator of Pawsitive Kidnections here in Colorado Springs. He's also a millennial. He's a millennial business owner, former guy from the lending world. And he decided to say, you know what? It's time to make a difference in our community and be an entrepreneur at the same time. And this guy is living proof that, yes, even you at home can actually live the dream that you have been that dream that you've always wanted to live. And so we're going to talk to Mr. Mike here. Thank you very much for joining me, my friend.
Thank you, Antoine. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, let's talk about this Pawsitive Kidnection. This wasn't something that you've always been into animals. I want to talk about that in regards of, you were thinking about becoming a vet. And didn't, obviously, because we'd be talking to Mike Sagaert, the vet. But we're going to talk about that journey how you got in here. But the Pawsitive Kidnections, it was kind of like it's like an epiphany. And then all of a sudden it came out of your mouth, and now you're kind of holding yourself accountable.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about, first of all, who you are. This is Colorado Springs is your home.
Yes.
So you've seen massive growth here. And talk to us a little bit more about your connection to Colorado Springs, your connection to animals, and how all that kind of comes into play to Pawsitive Kidnections.
Yeah, absolutely. So I moved here from Southern California when I was about 9 years old. My mom moved my sister and I out to Colorado Springs, southern portion, down around Quail Lake. And that was our introduction to Colorado Springs. Yeah. Ended up moving towards Lower Skyway. Mm-hmm. Grew up a little bit down there. My mom remarried, moved to Rock Rimmon, the north end of town, went to Eagleview Middle School, ended up going to Air Academy for high school. And that was my first stay at Colorado Springs.
Wow.
Really getting integrated. We lived on the backside of the Air Force Academy.
All right.
It was about less than a mile to the grounds. And my high school was actually on the grounds for the Air Force Academy. So really got an integration of where I was at, this city that's really has a lot of military background in it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea at first. I had no idea what we were moving into. Just this really great place. There's these big mountains that you see, and all of a sudden we are about a mile above sea level, which is totally different than Southern California. And talk about the dryness.
Completely different.
So that was my high school experience. For college, I moved to Southern Maine, went to the University of New England in Biddeford, Maine, which probably most of you, or if not all of you, have never heard of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Started studying marine biology, changed my major partway through to psychobiology and comparative ethology. For layman's terms, that's animal behavior.
Yes.
Came back to Denver.
Sitting here Mike. Can we rewind this and see what he just said?
I said it twice.
Yeah.
Came back, went to vet tech school in Aurora.
Okay.
Completed that, moved to Alaska to be a vet tech because that's what you do. for your first big time job, you're going to move to Alaska.
SoCal, Colorado. Let's go to Maine, a town I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go hang out in Alaska.
Yeah. So I did that for about 8 months, came back, continued to work as a vet tech, was working on going into vet school, got denied from vet school once, decided that I needed to look at something else, and ended up becoming a mortgage lender, thanks to my mom.
Wow, okay.
And that all was going on until about November of last year. I went to a CASA event, which is a CASA of the Pikes Peak region. It's a local nonprofit.
Yeah.
And was talking to a friend of mine there that done a lot of volunteer work with CASA and talked about this opportunity. What would it be like for, these kids that are registered with CASA to hang out with some shelter animals or just hang out with animals in general?
Yeah.
She said, yeah, that'd be a really cool idea. I said, well, great. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I'll let you know. I'm doing a leadership program in April. We'll see how it goes. So April comes around and I file for a business with the Secretary of State of Colorado and have the beginning mindset of, okay, I don't even know that this is going to be a nonprofit at that time. It's really just getting interested in all right, I have this wonderful idea that really could be impactful for the community here. And so I started to take it on. A couple phone calls, a couple connections with LinkedIn, got the crazy idea. It's like, do a nonprofit, be a philanthropic entrepreneur. And at the time, like, philanthropy wasn't even a word I really adjusted to. It really wasn't even conceptual to. And once I started making connections with people and it really started to take off, this idea really formed of Pawsitive Kidnections, creating love and joy for underprivileged children and underserved animals. And what would that look like?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at today. Starting some of these programs, becoming an entrepreneur, and being around that. That's a little bit of a lot about me.
No, I really like that, Mike, because you could have had, quote unquote, a safe ride, if you will, in the lending or the mortgage industry, right?
Absolutely, and I was successful doing it, even in under 4-year stint of being a loan officer, and I didn't market much. I had a great referral base. It was totally a safe industry. I even had a safe place with my mom, like, let's be on a team, let's do this, your money will be secure, you can build up your future. And I went, no.
Wow.
It wasn't fulfilling to me. There was so much more to contribute in my community, in my world. I just said, I have to. Like, it is calling out of me.
Yeah.
And so I took the step. To really go for it.
And how many people out there, we'll be talking about the millennials, but just how many people in general that are watching this today, have you ever said that to yourself? That there's just something that's calling you or the opposite? I wish I would have. I wonder what my life would have been like had I just, you fill in the blank. You're doing it. And you are a great example as to, yes, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Now it sounded like, we quickly, once again, it sounded like, hey, listen, I'm not going to be in mortgage anymore, and I'm just going to go for it. What were some of the negative things in your mind that you had to overcome? Because that's a scary, I've never heard of Pawsitive Kidnections. Guess what? Nor have you. So you're doing something completely different. It's not like going to another job, maybe even a career change. This is a completely different life change.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the negatives that initially came up were just fear, just this inauthentic fear of, like, what if I don't make it? Or what if it doesn't work? Or what if this idea is not good enough? And what was awesome about that counteracted it is, like, no, like, this is a great idea. Like, people are really interested in helping other people, especially children that could have more. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that fear was huge. Another big fear was lacking income. Like, money drives.
That kind of helps.
It does help a lot.
Mr. Sagaert, are you going to pay your rent, sir? Are you going to pay your light bill?
You have a mortgage, and you want to have a nice car, or you want to go out to eat. You want to have that nice gym membership, whatever it is.
What is it? Yeah.
It was all there for me,
yeah.
And it was all looking at me in the face, just going like, "Well, are you going to do it or not? Are you going to jump or not?" And so much of who I had been in the past was just like we were talking about. You fill in the blank. What did you want life to look like? What would you rather be doing? What is your greatest dream? And when this came to the plate, I was like, all right, I'm going to swing. I might miss, but I'm sure as heck going to swing for it.
Yeah. Where, you must come from a fantastic home.
I do.
And the reason why I say that, and we didn't even really go into that off camera, but your outlook on life is a rarity. Which is actually, I think, an asset to you and what you do and what you bring to the table. Where do you get this positive outlook on life?
Well, a few different places. My parents were very positive growing up. My mother and my stepfather, if you call him my step-grandfather, the only grandfather I ever knew, always talked about it from the way of, if you don't like a job, don't do it. And he was somebody in a generation that actually went from job to job, probably 6 career changes, to support his family in a way that he would enjoy more, that would work. And that was incredibly inspiring. For him, he passed away at 94. Wow. To have that sole grandfather that really just gave his heart to his grandchildren and his children, just do what you love, do what you love, do what you love. That was a big starter piece for that, looking at the generations passed down and to be yourself and not lie about it. Just be authentic. I've done yoga teacher training. I taught yoga. I do a lot of positive reading. I do a lot of positive sharing, things like that. And it's really set up for a really strong foundation for myself. And people, and people knew me as such a positive person. When I wasn't being, they would call me out and they would ask, like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
You know, who are you that you're just all of a sudden like this negative person and getting caught up? And it happens. Yeah. It does happen. We all, like we were talking about off camera, you know, you will have days that are not as good as others, or you wish were going better than they are. Yeah. And I just really got that that's not every day. Yeah. And that there are days that really, really cool things happen. And even we didn't say this off camera either. You know, I'm someone that lost 7 close people in my family the past 3 years, including my biological father. And part of that actually sparked some of this journey to really like just be me. Like, what do I want to strive for? And what do I want to be? And it allowed me, you know, even with that, like when I really got complete with my father about what was going on in all of our past, all the things I blamed him for, all the things I made him wrong for, you know, just open up this new world. It's like, oh, I can just go do that. Yeah. And it stemmed, you know, the most wonderful relationship I've ever had. It stemmed a search for a new career. It stemmed a search for just being myself and just doing it and owning it and actually getting responsible for who I am and what I can do.
Wow. Wise beyond your years, my friend.
Thank you.
I dig it. I really dig it, man. I only hang out with nothing but the best. You know, I actually know Mike, actually from indirectly from Lifetime Fitness at the gym. We work out right around that same time. But what was he? I saw you're like, hey, I saw you yesterday, but you were in the zone, so I just said hi. Because we just
keep going.
We just gotta keep going. It's like, oh no, they're in the zone. And real quick too, you and I have a lot in common. Yeah. You're not a big watcher of that news.
Not at all. No, I am honestly. I'm a keep away from a lot of it. You know, being on LinkedIn, being on Facebook, I'll get some of the updates. I'll see what comes across, and usually I just avoid it because it puts a damper. And I actually read something probably about 6 months ago that, you know, when you wake up, even 3 minutes of negative news can affect your whole day. And 3 minutes is not a long time. You look at the massive amounts of time we just take in all this media. Yeah. And that can totally change your day. Yeah. Now, you can already have a bad day. Who knows what's going on? And then you look at that and that comes in and all of a sudden it's like, wow, I lost my whole day because of that. Yeah. And so like, why in the world would you set yourself up to even get to that point?
There it is. Telling you, it's not just Antoine, not this Mr. Positive guy. Jeez Louise. I want to talk real quickly here. Yes. Pawsitive Kidnections. We briefly talked about it. What exactly is it? How can we be part of this? How can we help support your cause? What is this whole thing about? And like I said, how can we go ahead and help further your cause?
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes back to the question I didn't answer up front, which is like, what do animals mean to me? And the short of that is my current dog, you know, changed my life and saved my life. The human-animal bond for me is what really changed my life when I didn't think the people I had were there. They were there. Yeah. They're always there. And remember that too. These people are there for you. And I wanted to give that away to people. Yeah. So I really got that with Pawsitive Kidnections. I wanted to give away the possibility of a human-animal bond to a kid that might never have the opportunity to do it, and to potentially save a dog in the process. You know, having a dog come out of a shelter or rescue, be made a companion for a kid, it might change both of their lives. It might save that dog's life. It might save the kid's life. I don't know. It'd be a great thing if it did, though. Wow. And so really right now what Pawsitive Kidnections is working on is 2 things. Our biggest project that we're working on right now, we're about to start piloting it, is the Companion Animal Project. And what that is literally taking a dog out of a shelter or rescue, training them to be a really suitable pet, if not more, depending on their background. And actually being able to give them to a foster family so it can live with a foster child. Now, the big thing that comes up for people immediately is like, all right, what about money? Like, that's always a thing. There's probably a reason these people don't have dogs. Well, think about that for a minute. What would it be like to actually give these people what they need to be a sustainable pet owner? 6 months of food, 12 months of food, all being donated, and having all the veterinary care covered. Wow. So it's not actually a financial burden to them. They just get to enjoy being a parent. And like, think about this. This kid gets to learn responsibility. This kid gets a new sense of love. Some kids open up incredibly around animals that they never do around people. Just all opportunity. And it's given to them if it's suitable. It's nothing we want to force on people. We actually want people to apply for it. So that's the baseline of what we're up to. There is another program we're just starting. This just came in this past month, having a meeting with.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. This just in. This is breaking news. This is a news alert. This is a Monday morning Millennial Message news alert. Stand by. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, Jim. Yes, we have a new program coming on.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming in right now. Oh, sorry. I don't know how you do that. I was going for the banana phone.
You gotta do this. I don't know.
Oh, the headset. Okay.
I don't know. Even when I was a news reporter, I know he's like, oh, yeah, like it's really important. Like, oh, did I really hear that correctly?
Got it. This past month, I love it. A few therapy dog owners and a couple staff from CASA, some people who are also involved with TwoCore, which is another local nonprofit. We're talking about how great it would be to have the therapy dogs who already have this job that they're set out to do, to really be support with people in the community, actually go be with the CASAs, like the handler and the dog, go with the CASA to meet the kid for the first time. Really give a warm, fuzzy feeling to this interaction, because otherwise, hey, this person's just going to come represent you in court and be someone important for you. Hopefully you like them.
That's a great new program, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
And there's a little twist on it too. So CASA also has a SELP program that is where the parents will come and exchange. So if one parent has the kid full time or extended period of time and they want to go visit the other kid, CASA does the exchange where the parents don't actually see each other. So none of that negativity gets brought to that space. There's a supervised visit program within CASA's walls, and we were talking about having the therapy dog come in for that too.
Cool.
So again, bringing some positivity, some love, seeing a dog to this environment just because.
I dig it, man.
So that's the newest one.
Man, I love this guy, man. He's my new BFF, right? Jeez, that's really awesome what you're doing, my friend.
Thank you.
And I got to get your take, man. We're coming up on time. We were talking about it before. The millennials. I mean, obviously, you're.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. But no, it's not really. It's one of many reasons, because I really want to highlight businesses. I want to highlight the positive in our community and what people are doing in our community. And I have something up my sleeve come January, but you got to see. We're gonna.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, it comes. Yeah, late breaking news. No,
I got
it. Yeah, you got to know. You got to do this. You got to do that. What are your thoughts on the millennials? Think they got a bad rap? You think it's they're getting exactly what they deserve in regards to that broad stroke? What's your overall quick view of the millennials? You're part of the generation. Want to get it from your perspective.
The generalized millennial generation, and we can attribute this to YouTube videos. There's some great videos like highlighting.
Simon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Talking about what millennials are doing and what millennials are up to. And really, a lot of millennials are actually changing the way industries work. And the biggest misconception, it seems these days, is it's our connection to technology and our use of it. Now, technology has changed drastically since the last generation. I mean, you look at 5-10 years, like, can people actually remember when there wasn't an iPhone? Yeah. Some millennials don't. They don't remember even like if they had a flip phone or they had something else. And it's the use of technology to actually be powerful out in the world that is different. And what it actually has done for a lot of people is made us more effective. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying go be a screen hog. I'm totally not into that. Yeah. I like reading books that are paper. I like going to the gym. I love going outside and experiencing weather, things like that. But not all millennials sit in their basement and hang out in their parents' homes. Some do. And some are, trying to really go after their dreams and doing that. And that's where their comfort zone is. And it seems at times in today, it's just people are made wrong for that. Yeah. Like they just don't have it going yet. And that's just their growth.
Yeah.
I mean, I moved back in with my parents before I did a couple things. Yeah. When I moved back from Alaska, I moved in with my parents. Like, I didn't know what I was doing yet. I got a job within a couple months. I made enough money to move out, but it wasn't about that.
And you're doing just fine.
I'm doing fine now.
And mom,
at 30 years old, and doing all right.
And dad's looking down on you, and with a big smile.
Yeah,
I know that. That's good stuff. Last question.
Yes.
Best piece of advice by whom What was the advice, and how do you apply it in your life and or business?
Oh,
I knew I was going to get you.
He did.
Yes.
Jeez. There's some advice. I would probably say Tim Ferriss.
Okay, go ahead.
If you guys aren't familiar with Tim Ferriss, he does a lot of podcasts.
Yep.
Talks about a lot of the powerful people in the world. They're up to good things, or just, they're prominent and like powers in whatever industry there are. And I'm going to suck it up on the quote for sure. It's about, just something around like looking in the mirror. And with that, we actually create what we see in the mirror. And you can create someone that's sick, and you can create someone that is unwell, or someone that is a type of way you don't like. Or you can create somebody totally different, someone powerful, someone that you love, someone that if you don't remember, you're stuck with. You want to be stuck with someone you love.
Yeah.
And it's all around just being in the mirror and not being sick of that person, really being accepting and positive what that person can do. And when you look at that person in the mirror and actually like see you, there's power there that you probably don't ever think of. I'll have to get the quote for you.
No, but I dig it, man.
All right.
You always say you gotta love yourself before you really can spread that love, right?
Totally.
When you get on a plane, they say the mask comes down. Doesn't matter if you have kids on this side and this side. They say put the mask on. What? But no, my kids. Well, you can't help your kids if you don't have oxygen, right? Mr. Mike, what a great interview. Knowing you, meeting you, knowing what you're doing for our community, and then knowing that it's not about this what millennials are doing. It's about what people. They're human beings. They're not just like this. They're millennial. They're over here. No, they're people. They are 43% of all new of all homes. 53% of all new builds in Colorado Springs. This guy's about to buy a home. This is an example of the next generation. So we got more. Yes, you're like, could there be more? There is. And you just stay tuned. Mr. Mike Sagaert,
Antoinne,
the creator of Pawsitive Kidnections. I am your Colorado real estate agent with the Cutting Edge Realtors. We will see you. I want to say, hold on. We will see you for another Monday Morning Millennial Message in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See, I always do this.